And if you look at the floor plan again, you see that the core in this case is existing at this point. So these are the stairs that we saw before, inside and outside. But the core is rather a spine that runs through the whole school. This idea of the school street with elements of clusters. This is a learning cluster with classrooms, very traditional at the first sight, but you could easily take the walls out here and you would have a very open learning space without any big effort. So the idea here is that the school is something like a small city with spaces, with streets running through them, with a piazza, and with school and learning spaces then like the houses in the city. I think it's really a very, very interesting plan. It extends to the outside into a local park, and the spine of the school, so this is the school building, the spine of the school extends through the whole park and creates an in-between space between semi-public and real public spaces. This is something I think is very valuable also in the quarter the school is built in. Yes, this is the model here, and what you see is that the school is broken down into smaller units, and this is what brings us to the idea of the cluster. The cluster is the concept of an intelligent combination of core spaces. This again is an example from Austria, Vienna, a very rather radical and typical cluster example. So you see that this whole large school is broken down into 3 separate units. One of them is a kindergarten unit, one of them is a primary school, and this element here is a secondary school. We would not build this today anymore because the new concept in Vienna is to integrate the primary school and the kindergarten. So today we would move several of these kindergarten groups into the primary school and have a closer connection between children of these different age groups. But the architecturally interesting point here is that again you have a central meeting space, which is here. Then you have another small core space for 4 classrooms, and the individual classrooms themselves have 2 small annexes. This is now hard for me even to see. Yes, so if you look at this classroom, it has a sliding door to the next classroom. It is a square space with 2 very small annex rooms that can be used to work with smaller groups of children. I know it's hard to read these small plans, but maybe you can look at them in the internet and you will find this idea of a hierarchy of cores that are actually working together. To illustrate that a cluster idea not necessarily has to be a very tree-like structure, I want to show this school from Switzerland, which is one of the most interesting schools built in the past 10 years in terms of architecture and in terms of structure. The whole construction of the school is resting on 6 small foundation points, and it's hovering in some way over the park it is built in. But the interesting aspect for us here is the plan. It looks very, very traditional, with a hall space in the middle, and then conventional classrooms, which are a little bit larger than usual classrooms. But the cluster idea here is also realized because these 4 classrooms share this common hall in the center. And all the walls in the school are made of glass, of translucent, not transparent glass. So you get light from this.